Hi, I'm Rusty Wallace. You're on the AT8 network, and the next round starts now.
Hello, once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of the iDrive series at the Gateway Kartplex. The light class is just minutes away from kicking off Heat 1 of Round 4, and after tonight we only have 3 more rounds until the season is over, and the top 10 focuses in on the championship that will take place on November 4th, where we will see one of these guys walk away with a Margay kart for the 2018 Ignite season. The light class will be split up into an A and B block tonight, and it's the first time ever that the Lauer-Krug duo will not race each other in the iDrive series since Krug's debut. Lauer will be running in the A block along with notable drivers like Adam Ward and Micah Floretta, while Krug will be in the B block running with Austin Russell, Scott McClendon Jr., and the Faulkner brothers. Before we take a look at how the points shake out after last round, let's discuss 2 incidents that happened last week in the second heat. First off, let's take a look at the contact that happened between Adam Ward and Dylan Wilbers. From what our footage shows, you can see Ward on the inside of Wilbers hitting the red curbing in the 90 as they both get shot up high. Dylan Wilbers throws his hands up in the air, obviously not very happy with the situation. Then as they enter turn 1, it looks as if Dylan Wilbers dumps Adam Ward. Now I have looked at this footage over and over again, even frame by frame, and I'm still uncertain of what the absolute intentions were in the head of Dylan Wilbers. The visor is pointed in the turn, but those hands look fairly straightly aimed at the rear of Adam Ward's kart. The Gateway Kartplex has not issued any penalties or warnings to either driver, and also Wilbers is not registered to race tonight, so we won't see anything tonight as far as that situation is concerned. The other situation that we definitely can't ignore from last week is the absolute heartbreak from Scott McClendon Jr. when he was stripped of his 3rd place finish and relegated to 5th when the speed limiter on his kart was activated when he exited the North Pole turn on the last lap. You can clearly hear the speed limiter on in his GoPro footage. Austin passed him cleanly to the right while Micah got into the back of Scott and passed him on the left. The Gateway Kartplex scored McClendon Jr. in the 5th place position, and along with a few other drivers like Brendan Lauer, Scott believes that he should have been given the 3rd place equivalent of points at least, since he clearly had the spot locked down and the mistake was out of his control. On the other side, you have drivers like Micah, who mentioned that in the real world of racing, you have more mistakes and malfunctions compared to what we see in the iDrive series, so you kind of have to go with that mindset of suck it up, buttercup, and move on. I think we can all agree that we would like to not start seeing a trend of mistakes with the speed limiter controller from here on out, as the points become more and more crucial for the championship. And speaking of points, let's take a look at the top runners here in the point standings. Starting with our points leader Brendan Lauer, who is coming freshly off of his 2nd consecutive sweep and 5th consecutive win this season. Lauer feels great with this new, cooler track, and he's obviously adapted well to it, not to mention being lucky with kart draws and the misfortune of his competitors. Still behind Lauer, 49 points behind this week, is his teammate and last season's champion, Bobby Krug. I guess you could say that Krug dusted the last round, finishing second in both heats. Unlike his teammate, he's been really struggling with the track change. Krug actually spent his Friday night here at the track during their Party at the Plex event and practiced with the 6-time Ignite Junior champion, Evan Stommer. Krug said that running with Stommer gave him another trick up his sleeve that he is prepared to use tonight. Maintaining third place, 24 points behind Krug, is Micah Floretta. Floretta had a great round last week. He qualified on the front row, finished on the podium, and took his kart to fourth in Heat 2. He's had a lot of speed and a lot of experience over the rest of the pack. He's been racing in the rentals and Ignite karts longer than Lauer or Krug, and he's looking to put that experience to use tonight as he chases down the young guns.
I didn't see you there.
But Micah's being closely chased by Austin Russell, who's 14 points behind him. Those two battle it out quite frequently, and even if you recall back to the Spring Series, when it was those two and Brian Walker who battled it out for the third place trophy. Russell qualified and maintained 5th place in Heat 1, and he would also go on to podium in Heat 2 after the debatable finish with Scott McClendon Jr. Austin is looking to sneak ahead of Micah and onto the points standings podium here tonight. 5th place is Jared Hester, 6th Dylan Wilbers, 7th goes to Gary Faulkner, 8th is where Adam Ward is, Scott Faulkner is in 9th, and Ryan Josie rounds out the top 10. Now it's time to call our shot for this round with our Fight the Fight driver to watch. And I think this driver is someone that everyone's got their eyes on, and that's Brendan Lauer. I know we threw out his name last round, but how can you not skip over the role that he has been on these past 2 weeks of back-to-back racing? His 2 sweeps and 5 wins showed the rest of the field that he's here to win this season and the championship. It'll even be more impressive if anyone else in the field can stop his momentum, which will be a hard thing to do. Once again, Brendan Lauer, your Fight the Fight driver to watch for this round of iDrive. It looks like the first block is ready to roll onto the grid, so let's go down to the track to see your starting lineup presented by ATA Network. Starting on the front row tonight is Brendan Lauer with a 38.212. Starting alongside of him will be Micah Floretta. Row 2 has Adam Ward and Jared Hester. In row 3, it's Ryan Josie and Eduardo Luque. And starting in the final row, row 4 is Michael Walsh and Josh Bauer. And we saw there during the starting grid, Brendan Lauer had a couple words to say to Mr. Adam Ward. I think there might have been a little bit of contact there during their qualifying session, so looks like Krug was yelling over the barrier to him, trying to kind of keep them both calm. You don't want contact in qualifying leading them into more contact within the next 2 heats. Keith taking the photo that he usually takes when everyone's out on the grid. Making sure he's got it all lined up. We will be riding on board with Micah Floretta and Brendan Lauer, your front row. Should be a pretty good night. Will Brendan Lauer be able to keep his momentum going and keep that streak going? General Manager of the Kartplex, Keith Scharf with the green flag. Drivers give up the thumbs. And the green flag is out. We are underway here for 12 laps in the A block in the light class here tonight. Brendan Lauer off to a pretty good lead, but Micah is going to keep him honest as he tries going on the outside there in turn 3. Not going to work. Gives him a bump, pushes him up, and he loses all of that speed as Brendan Lauer is now going to start slowly pulling away from the rest of the pack. No surprise there if he can keep a clean North Pole turn here and really keep a capitalized spot for Brendan Lauer here, and he's increasing that gap that he had with Micah Floretta as they come by here to put lap 1 in the books. Still a freight train behind him though. Micah Floretta, he's going to do everything he can to get that bounty off of Brendan Lauer. As that time by, they haven't got up to speed yet, but Lauer, pretty impressive time there compared to Micah Floretta, so should be interesting to see what plays out during this race. Also, we got, Adam Ward and Jared Hester that also could contend for that second place spot depending on how slow Micah Floretta ends up being. But right now it looks like this is going to be Brendan Lauer, who, this is his race to lose. You just got to stay focused, keep calm, and hit his marks, and that lead will increase. And as we see here, Adam Ward right there on the back of Micah Floretta. So right now the battle on track right now is for second place with Adam Ward being there. And that's what Brendan Lauer wants to see. Brendan Lauer wants to look back and see them battling. Because if they're battling, that means they're slowing each other up, which will give him the opportunity to pull away here. Top four staying maintained as far as their position. Wouldn't be surprised if Micah Floretta starts seeing Adam Ward trying to make moves on his inside or outside. Try to get by him here. Fastest lap that time goes to Micah Floretta as he's trying to hold off Adam Ward. Brendan was running the third place time right there, so the gap between Floretta and Lauer has slightly decreased since last time by. Adam Ward pushing Micah Floretta. He doesn't want Ward getting on him, which is going to help him get a little bit faster there as they kind of work together to get up towards Lauer. The last three kind of back markers there as they split off from the rest of the pack here as we ride on board with Micah Floretta through turns 2. Micah Floretta has a lot of experience. He's ran in the Ignite series prior to joining us here in the iDrive series, and you can definitely tell by the way he moves around in the kart, how he handles the turns and everything. And there might be a little bit of a weight difference between him and Brendan Lauer, but you can definitely tell where the experience lies in the field, as that gap between Lauer and Floretta still looks about the same, maybe a little bit decreased. But Adam Ward is keeping him honest in that third place spot, as we'll see what the lap times were that time around. Once again, Micah Floretta with the faster time that time by. Adam Ward and then Brendan Lauer still in that third. You can definitely see Micah doing everything he can. He's got the speed in the turns where Brendan has just taken off in the straightaways with that straightaway speed. This time by, Brendan Lauer is going to get the cross flags as we will be halfway through this first race tonight in the iDrive series. Brendan Lauer wants to keep this streak alive and put a huge capitalization point on that championship that he is searching for desperately. As we all know, he's got a long list of second place finishes, and this is the season he doesn't want to be a runner-up. He wants to make his transition into Margay Racing a very big one here, as he wants to get the win in the series and in the championship. Adam Ward still on the back of Michael Floretta there, as Jared Hester's kind of moved off from him. Brendan Lauer put the best time up that go around on the lap 7 clock, 38.151. Second fastest, Micah. Third fastest was Adam Ward. So relative to what their actual position is on the track, and if they keep that pace going, this is going to be Brendan Lauer's race. Micah gains a little bit going through that first set of turns in the North Pole turns. Then as you see, once they get to straightaways, it's just Brendan Lauer that pulls off. Very common theme here between the two drivers. And then once again, we keep seeing that trend where Lauer kind of has a fall off and Micah and Adam just kind of take the best time away from him. The clock is ticking there for Micah Floretta and Adam Ward. They make a move on Lauer, it's going to be within this lap or the next lap. Otherwise, things will get dicey when the white flag comes out. But so far, it looks like the gaps have been pretty steadily similar between each of the drivers. And that's another thing we got to look at too, is not only the driver's skill, but what karts they are in. I know the Gateway Kartplex, they try to keep their karts as equal as possible, but just unfortunately that's not how it works. You're going to have one kart that's better than the other. We've been looking at karts 10 and karts at 16, 20, and 21. Lauer is in one of those. He's in 21 at the current time. And that's going to also play an advantage. Micah could not be in a very great kart, and then that makes all the difference once it comes to race time. The clock is ticking, 2 laps left here in the A block. That time by Brendan Lauer with the faster time. I think he knows what he has to do to keep Micah behind him, as Micah's right there. He's going to try making a move on him, but once again, that gap just increases when they get to the backstretch. I hate repeating it, but it's a very important part here in this race, and that's what's keeping Micah behind Brendan Lauer. Brendan Lauer's just got to be calm and steady through this next lap, and it'll be his win. As the white flag is waving in the air, top 3 really close together here. As Adam Ward's kind of he's looking towards the outside there of Micah Floretta. Couldn't get anything done. They're still pretty evenly spaced out. Brendan Lauer gets a good run on this backstretch. Makes to turn 3, which he does. It's got to take a lot for Micah Floretta to make a move on him. Micah checking behind him, doesn't want Adam Ward pulling anything silly on him. Micah goes in for a dive, kind of moves up towards the middle of the groove there, and he's gaining on him. It's not over yet, ladies and gentlemen, as they're coming to the checkered flag here. Micah goes out wide, and that's a close gap there. Micah only .116 behind him. Lauer kept to the inside. Very smart move by him, and very smart by Micah to try to swing it out wide to, kind of go where Lauer wasn't expecting him. Very solid night there for Brendan Lauer, Micah Floretta, and Adam Ward, running very consistent lap times, and it was a close battle all the way through. So we'll get an instant replay here and take a look at the margin of victory right on board with Micah Floretta, taking it out wide. Just didn't have enough speed on the exit of that turn to make anything go. But a very impressive night once again for Brendan Lauer, extending his streak.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for some Group B racing here in the iDrive series. Now, it's called Group B, but don't be fooled. As we look at the starting grid presented by ATA Network, we've got some pretty big names here. Scott McClendon Jr. starts off with an impressive 2/10 lead, gets the pole in qualifying over Bobby Krug, former iDrive Spring Series champion. In row 2 here, we got Austin Russell and Shane McAfee. Shane McAfee, a former iDrive racer. He hasn't seen seat time in a while. We'll see how he does. Then the Faulkner brothers take the 3rd row, followed by Dunlap and Lewis. That's Lawrence Dunlap and Michael Lewis in the 4th row, and looks like we're getting ready to go here. Keith takes a picture. We got an onboard here with Bobby Krug. I believe we also have an onboard with another driver. Yeah, there we go. Got one with Austin Russell. There it is. All right. Looks like Keith Sharp getting ready to wave that green flag. Get us going, and it's off. Starting the first group. First race for the B group. They head down into turn 1. Bobby gets that 2nd place. Sewn up. Trying to keep things single file up there to protect their position. Through 3, a little bit of side by side, but things starting to even out pretty quickly in this one. Bobby trying to run down Scott. Historically, Bobby's been the more dominant racer, but Scott's shown a lot of brilliance. He hasn't done a lot of iDrive racing, so we're still seeing his skill level improve even more week in, week out. So we may get a big surprise here. He's holding off Bobby so far. A lap in. Holding a pretty steady lead. Going back, looking at the Austin Russell on board. He's getting right up to Bobby Krug here. And he'll look to give him a good challenge in that number 3 kart. Pulls up real big there in the North Pole turn. And then they'll come back down to start lap 3. See what they get on their first full speed lap. Mid 38s for pretty much everyone. Scott under 38.5. That's pretty good because these tires, they're still warming up. So to already be under 38.5, that's pretty spectacular, honestly.
Who's that moving up behind him?
Bobby bending down real low, trying to get an aero advantage down the backstretch. Carries a lot of speed through the North Pole turn there, but I think you'll see, yeah, Scott pulls away. He's got real good exit speed. And it looks like he'll extend the lead. He's just driving away here. But Austin not giving Bobby any room. He's still right where he was. I think he really gets him, yeah, right here in turn 3. That's where he makes up a lot of ground. The question is, can he hold up down the backstretch? It looks like he will. He's holding even with Bobby. And we might have a battle for second place heating up here. Right on his bumper. But that's pretty much all we've got so far. Hasn't been able to pull up next to him. And things kind of spreading out in the back. Shane McAfee still holds that 4th place spot pretty safely. So this right here is pretty much the main battle on the track. This is Austin's best part here. We'll see how much he can gain on Bobby. Gets a lower line. Bobby slid up a little bit. And now they are, oh, just right there. Right there. He can get him. He can get him. Let's see. Through turn 1, still right on that bumper. It's real hard driving here when you know someone's on your bumper. There's a lot of places where if they got the opportunity, they could just drive it in hard and end up almost wrecking to both of you. But a lot of experience here shown by Austin Russell to just patiently wait right behind him. He's waiting for the right time to strike. Down to the loop again. Bobby way out to the outside. Austin inside. Little contact. Bobby's in the wall. Big hit there for Bobby, and he's falling fast. 2 more karts go by. He's down to 5th place as they start lap 7. And we'll look at the instant replay on that. Ooh. Not the best angle, but you could hear that's a big hit for Krug. An even bigger hit for his results. I don't think that second place is going to happen. You see him right over the rumble strips and into that barrier. We don't see a lot of wrecks here in the iDrive series. But whenever they happen, oof, caught the back end right on it. And we'll see what he can do here to try to make up some of that lost ground. But it looks like that's pretty much it. In other news, look at Scott McClendon Jr. running a 38 flat. He was 6/10 faster than second place the last lap. He's completely gone. Scott McClendon, of course, is not yet one of the iDrive series. This is looking like his best chance to finally break into that win column. As you see Bobby attacking here, trying to get some lost ground, now on board with Austin Russell, and he's safely in second. I think McAfee gained a little bit on the contact he had with Krug, but oh, and McAfee a couple tenths faster again that lap. Not sure how far behind McAfee is, but he might have enough time to get up there and challenge for second place. Just a bit under 3 laps to go here. Look at Gary Falconer. He put up the second fastest time of the top 4 there. 38.4. As we see that's... oh, that looks like Falconer and McAfee right in front of Krug here. So that would be the battle for third. And from what we just saw, Falconer ran a little bit faster lap last lap. Doesn't look like McAfee's going to be close enough to challenge Russell as we got 2 to go here. But right now, we'll see. Oh, Bobby's getting right up to these guys. He might have a chance, pick up 2 more spots. He could get on the podium. McAfee, Falconer, and Krug coming through 3. Spread out a little bit. Looks like McAfee's trying to pull away here. Get himself some safe distance coming into the last lap. There it is, white flag. Scott takes the white flag. He's easily going to have his first win, but the battle's for third. Watch him diving into turn 1. Krug trying desperately to gain some points here. Already second in points. He cannot lose any more to Lauer. And he'll try to make up some ground on the backstretch, get a good launch. You can see Austin cruising through. He'll have an easy go of it as he'll take it to the finish. There's Scott McClendon Jr., first ever iDrive win for him. Austin comes second, and it looks like McAfee keeps third there. It got a little close, but he holds off Falconer, and he'll get that third place. So an upset win for Scott McClendon Jr., and Shane McAfee ends up on the podium, while Bobby Krug falters and has one of his worst races this year. Ups and downs of the iDrive series.
As Haley rolls back on the grid, it's time to toss the coin. Coin is in the air. And tonight it is heads. Heads up. We will start when we finish.
Thank you for tuning in to the ATA Network for our broadcast of the iDrive series. We are halfway through with our races tonight. The A block is getting set here to take their second heat. And Brendan Lauer looking for his 7th win in a row here in the iDrive series. As we'll take a look here at the starting grid presented by ATA Network. And starting on the front row, we will have Brendan Lauer in that first place spot, and Micah Floretta is going to start alongside of him. Behind them in row 2, we'll have Adam Ward and Jared Hester. Row 3 behind them will be Eduardo Luque and Ryan Josie. And starting in the final row will be Michael Walsh and Josh Bauer. We will have 3 onboard cameras out there for this heat. We will be riding on board with Micah Floretta, Brendan Lauer, and Adam Ward. So we'll be able to keep in contact with the top 3 drivers, and hopefully they'll keep in that top 3 and have a good battle for us to watch here in the second race. We might see a little bit change of pace compared to our first race where they were pretty much single file most of the time. We might start seeing a battle go on. Maybe a new winner here, as we have drivers that are wanting to take that bounty from atop Brendan Lauer's head. General Manager of the Kartplex, Keith Scharf, getting his grid photo, and he will be waving the green flag for us tonight, getting our second heat underway. And the green flag is in the air. Looks like the drivers get a pretty decent start there. Jared Hester ducks really low down to the inside of Micah Floretta. And that's going to push Floretta back to 4th place, as he's not done with him yet. Oh, a little bit of contact there going into turn 2. But Jared Hester pulls away from Micah. Micah probably not happy with that. He started off in second there alongside Brendan Lauer, and Lauer is pretty much checked out. We see the gap between him and Adam Ward as we ride on board with Adam Ward through the North Pole turn. Will they be able to stop Brendan Lauer here, as lap 1 is about to be in the books? But they still got 11 more to go. Long way to go. A lot of mistakes can be made. A lot of ground can be made up. But Brendan Lauer has looked very smooth the past couple weeks. So I don't see him making a huge mistake here, as he's very familiar with just getting in front and pulling away. But Floretta, tough break for him, getting pushed back to 4th off that start, but he's got the possibility here to make up ground. As we get a nice shot here of them diving into turn 1. Still a pretty decent gap between Micah Floretta and Jared Hester. Will he be able to get back up to him is the question that I'll be waiting to see answered. Looks like Adam Ward's doing everything he can to try to catch up to Brendan Lauer, but that gap is just slowly increasing between the two. It's going to have to take a really, really tough break for Brendan Lauer or for Adam Ward to find his speed. It doesn't look like he's in a very great cart. It looks like he's in cart 11, which I don't think is that great of a cart. Also, you got to keep in mind that when the 3rd and 4th place try to battle with Adam Ward, he's got a very smart, dominant defensive line, as we do see Jared Hester trying to battle him for that 2nd place position. And that battle for 2nd is a wonderful thing for Brendan Lauer and Micah Floretta. It's going to slow him down enough so that way Micah can catch up, and it'll give Brendan just that much more of a gap with that 1st to 2nd place position. Micah doing a really good job through the North Pole turns. You can see Jared doing a lot of movement in his cart, usually not that great for your aero and your speed. Might negatively impact him there, as Mike has already closed up that gap that was there last time by. Micah to the inside of Jared. A little bit of contact going in there in a turn 3, but he gets it done. And now his sights are set on that 2nd place position that is currently occupied by Adam Ward, as Brendan Lauer exiting the North Pole turns as the other top 3 enter the turn. Brendan Lauer's just checking out, as he's already completed his lap while they're entering the last turn of the 90. As you can see, the distance that Brendan Lauer already has. Brendan Lauer, a big fan of the cooler track. He's more of the guy that likes to slide around than be stuck to the hotter surface. Brendan Lauer just making quick work of the field. You can hear him feathering the throttle too, so he's got a lot of good work there with his feet and brake management and throttle management, so he can carry his speed through the turns and into the straightaways. And we take a look back at this battle for 2nd place going on. Micah takes a shot at the back of Adam Ward, gets himself a little squirrely there, which he's got the speed Micah does compared to Adam. We take a look at the lap times there. Adam Ward ran a 38.5. Brendan we're pulling away there with a 38.1, and Micah winning the 2nd place time there. So it's going to be interesting to see what can happen here for that 2nd place spot. And don't count Jared Hester out of it too. He's proven himself the past couple weeks to be a pretty good racer, and he's not willing to just lay over and let people pass. He's going to start battling here for the spots. Adam Ward gets really high up in that turn, trying to keep that inside line in turn 2 clean. But Micah is just getting right back up on him into turn 3. Adam Ward not really pulling away too much from Micah there. He is getting a little bit of a gap, but still Micah right there alongside of him. Adam Ward, best known probably for his defensive line that he can run around this track to keep the person behind him, keep him there, and keep his spot locked down. As you see him just, I've never seen that before until Mr. Adam Ward came to the track running that 90 turn as low as he does. Now, Micah looking to try to get to the inside with him in second place. No, he wasn't going to be able to get it done. Pulls right back behind Adam Ward. Very close battle here going on. Brendan Lauer is still just checking out there in the first place spot. Luque, Josie, Walsh, and Bauer just staying in the same 5th through 8th position. As we've got 2 more laps to go here in the A block. Oh, and Jared Hester to the inside of Micah Floretta shoots him out wide. You see Micah nodding his head. He knows what he needs to do now. Should be interesting to see if Jared Hester can maintain that 3rd place. What a risky pass by Jared Hester. Like we just said before, not afraid to dive it in where he needs to get the job done. Micah's got to get that spot back now. What an intense battle we got going on from 2nd place. Polar opposite from their first race they had here in the A block. Brendan Lauer in that last lap was a 37.9. Only driver running in the 37. He's got that clean air, clear space, and once again running a 37.7 as the rest of the pack is running pretty slow 38s and 39s, except for the 3rd place spot of Jared Hester there that time by. But he's being chased cat and mouse by Micah Floretta. Micah's going to get that done on him. If he's got enough time, he will be able to. Looks like Adam Ward, as long as they battle behind him, he'll have that 2nd place spot. As the white flag waves for Brendan Lauer and the rest of the pack still battling there as they now take the white flag. Micah Floretta's got to make this last lap decision. How is he going to get to him? He dives it really close down there into turn 1, and he gets that spot in turn 2, the inside line, the preferred line there. Jared Hester moves to the outside. Not very smart because the inside line is the preferred line through all these turns. And Micah's just got to keep him there as they go towards the North Pole turns. Brendan Lauer is already there as he exits the turns here as he's about to take the checkered flag. Brendan Lauer keeps that streak going. 7 wins in a row for him. What's going to happen behind him? Adam Ward's going to get that 2nd place spot. Micah Floretta is going to be able to maintain that 3rd place and keep Jared Hester behind him. What an impressive battle there for the 3rd and 2nd place spots. And an even more impressive night for Brendan Lauer as he does his victory spin out there at the exit of turn 3. Great night for Brendan Lauer. Once again, getting out the broom and sweeping the night.
Alright, a bit of a one-sided race there from the A group. We'll see what the B group can do in their 2nd race. Maybe provide a little bit more excitement like they did in the first. Remember in that battle between Russell and Krug as we set up the starting grid for the 2nd race. Got Scott McClendon Jr. and Russell, your 1st and 2nd place finishers from Heat 1. They'll start off on the front row, followed by Shane McAfee and Gary Falconer. They had a pretty good race going there for 3rd in the last heat. Then Bobby Krug, look for him to rocket through the field. He doesn't like finishing behind. We'll see how fast he can make his way up. Dunlap and Falconer, that's Scott Falconer, rounding out the field. As we get ready to go green, again Austin Russell and Bobby Krug carrying the onboards. Mr. Scharf getting his picture, and we're about to go green here. And they're off. We'll see. A lot of positions can be gained and lost from the start. Side by side in the 2nd turn. Krug makes it 3 wide, looking to gain a couple. 3rd right now, still side by side. Looks like Scott McClendon Jr. fell a little bit off the start. He's 3rd right now. Could not get it going well on the outside through turn 2, so he fell. Now back. Good move to take 2nd. And Bobby, he'll take that as well. Follows McClendon through. They're 2nd and 3rd here. Bit of a crazy first lap, but everyone pretty much makes it out all right. McAfee might have grazed the barrier a little bit, Krug style, through the North Pole turn, and he is, speaking of Krug, right on Scott McClendon Jr. He's right after that second place spot. Following him down the backstretch, pulls below him. Ooh, close call, but he makes it work. McClendon slides out of line just a bit. He didn't expect Krug coming there. But an impressive showing by Bobby. He goes from 5th to 2nd as we start lap 3. And if he keeps this pace up, we'll see if he can get up to Russell. But so far, Russell, the only one running in the 38s. And he's got a pretty substantial lead here. Looks like Scott actually fell back to 4th after he got passed by Bobby. Got McAfee running 3rd. McClendon 4th. And here's your top 2. We come to line, also looks like Scott Falconer gained a couple spots. He started 8th, already 6th. So kind of polar opposites for them here. Because when I saw, I'm pretty sure Gary actually lost some. So Scott up a few. Gary down a few. Yeah, he's running 7th place. He had a rough start after that 4th place starting spot. We rattle along here with Krug through that dangerous North Pole turn. Trying to see if he's going to gain a bit here on Austin. He's been able to do it many times in the past, but Russell holding very strong. Looks like Krug beats him by a 10th there. But these aren't very long races. If you want to get up there, you've got to just kill it. I don't know how much he's going to have to gain per lap, but it might need to be a little bit more than that, and it's got to be consistent too. And that really is the key. There's a lot of drivers that can go up there and they can run a 37.9, 37.8, but if their average lap is slower than a 38.5, they're not going to make it far. You got to be fast every single lap if you want success here in the iDrive series. Krug 0.2 faster there. That's the kind of chunk you need. Trying to monitor the gap between 1st and 2nd. It looks like he being Bobby Krug, he's going to have an advantage if he can keep this up. Because that 0.2 lap should be more than enough to get him up to Russell. And you can visually see that cart of Austin Russell getting closer and closer in this view as they reach the halfway point here. Lap 7 starting. Pretty much identical there. See Scott McClendon Jr. still running 4th. Only change so far. Looks like Scott Falconer up to 5th. He got by Lewis. But Gary's still having a real tough go of it, and Dunlap as well. Actually ran identical times that lap. That's kind of extraordinary, really. But back there in 7th and 8th, that's pretty much the only extraordinary thing happening to him right now. Closing in a little more, a 38.1 there by Krug. More than 0.2. Looks like 2.5 there. Or as smart people would say, a 1/4 of a second. Austin every lap, I'm sure he's just waiting to see that white flag. It's a very stressful experience when you can feel someone closing in from behind. In a short race like this, you know there's not many laps to start with. Just hoping you can hold him off long enough. Krug again winning that lap, but not by as much. We see the field's kind of evened out here. Haven't seen any passes for position in a while. So this is probably the only battle for position going on the track. More psychological than physical because they are not close to each other yet. But the numbers don't lie. Ooh, Russell a little bit faster. That's all he's got to do. If he has a couple laps at least even with Krug, that's all he needs to do to hold him back. Trying to tell if this gap is changing, but it looks pretty stable here. I think Krug's already used up everything he has trying to catch Austin. Gains on that lap. But we're down to 2 to go. And you want to be a little bit closer. You want to have the opportunity to challenge on the last 2 laps. Because any earlier than that, you've got a lot of opportunity to slip up and have the other guy get by you. So you prefer to try it on that second to last lap. Good go through the North Pole turn there. Gaining a little bit, but it's going to take a hell of a lap to get up there. White flag out as they diving into turn 1. Krug a little bit lower, 4/10 faster the last lap. If he can do it again, he'll be right there. But he's going to do it on this North Pole turn. There's no other place to do it. North Pole or the last turn. It's one of the two. Racing down the back stretch. Can he pull up? Austin looking pretty solid. A little bit high, but still good. And it looks like he'll hold on to it. Nothing doing there. Austin Russell going to take home his 3rd win, I believe, of the year. No, of this series. There we go. 3rd win of the series so far for Austin. Krug frustrated he couldn't catch him, but still, I'm sure, happy with the 2nd place finish after he did so poorly in the last heat after that crash with Russell. And of course, Shane McAfee taking home that 3rd place spot. 2 podiums. That's not a bad night for him. Alright, and we are standing by here with Austin Russell. Took home a 2nd place in the 1st race and got the win in the 2nd. Tell me a little bit about your side of the story, the incident with Krug down to the North Pole turn.
Yeah, complete accident, man. 100% my fault. You know, I was running Bobby down a little bit. He was better on the first end of the racetrack, and every single lap I would really reel him in down there in the North Pole turn. And I was running a little bit more on the inside than he was. Well, going down the back stretch down the turn, he got the brakes, he got out of the rubber a little bit, and he got a little wide, he slid wide. So obviously I went to the inside. There's about a lane and a half there, and you know, to be honest, I haven't looked at the GoPro. Just from it happened so quick down there. I think what it was, he was still on my outside, and you know, I thought I was going to clear him all the way. You know, I could have probably gave him a little bit more room. I was on the gas, setting up for the next turn, and my fault, really. I mean, he was still beside me, and I got into him, hit him right in the barrier, so I felt really bad for it. You know, obviously that's not the way I want to race anybody. 100% accident. But, you know, at least it could have been a lot worse, I guess, for him. I mean, yeah, fit's not the greatest, but it's better than last, I guess. Not the way you want to finish races, or get positions in races. But, you know, I said I'm sorry to him right away. As soon as we got out, went right up to him, and, you know, I'm sure he don't think it's on purpose. You know, hopefully he'll look at the footage and just understand from my point of view, and we'll move on from it.
Do you think this is going to change how you race each other, especially going to the next round here?
Definitely not on my end. You know, like I said, I complete accident. I don't like to race people like that. But, you know, from his end, I think he'll look at the footage, hopefully, and just kind of understand my position from it. And, you know, it happens. You know, he knows that's not the way I like to race. And hopefully we can move on. You know, you don't want it to affect our points battle and get in the way of things, especially as we get to the later half of the season. So we'll move on, see how next week goes, and go from there.
All right, that's Austin Russell. His win tonight will help in his chase for the championship lead, but it is a long way to go. All right, we're standing here with Bobby Krug. Another emotional night here at the Kartplex. Took home a 2nd place and a 5th place. That 5th probably be dropped later. Bobby, walk us through what happened between you and Russell on the first race there.
Well, Scott got around me. Scott got the pole. Me and Lauer were split tonight, so he gave me a signal that I got the pole. So I was like, I'm gonna conserve. Don't want to wear myself out for the race. Scott ended up getting a better time than I did, so I ended up starting 2nd. Scott was just pulling away. I was like, I got to do something to gain the speed. So I thought I could put more speed going into the entrance of the North Pole turns, and I just gave too much speed. Austin got to my inside, but I wasn't going to give that position up. And when I was going through that last turn there, he just didn't see me, didn't give me a line. Smart person, I think, would have just kind of pushed into that to stay in the groove of the track. Me, I just kind of stayed even with him, focused on him, and then this barrier just comes out of nowhere and jumps at me. And then at that point, I was pretty much thrown back to 5th. So that is what it is on that. And in the second race, I started 5th. Got Scott a little squirrely there at the end of the North Pole. Hate it for him. But then I was just trying to catch Austin, and couldn't get it done. So third round winless. Hasn't happened since I first stepped foot here last year. So pretty bitter taste in my mouth after all that. But just want to say real quick, thanks to Fight the Fight Clothing for getting me clothes tonight and for doing all the awesome stuff that they do. They actually ran a fundraiser for the people in Texas. It was a Texas Strong shirt, so good on him for doing that awesome stuff. And then also congrats to Brendan Lauer for 7 wins back-to-back.
Yes, it is 7, yes.
It's crazy.
I'm pretty happy about it. But this is about you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, that's all I got to say on that. Yeah, so.
All right, Bobby Krug a little bit frustrated, but still looking for another win. He's only got 1 so far, looking to change that in round 5.
Standing here with Adam Ward, 3rd and a 2nd place finish tonight on your resume. How was it out there? We split the class tonight. You feel good with the cart? You feel good with the competition?
Yeah, I drew number 12 cart first time. Handled real good. Not so much speed in the straightaways, but handled real nice. I liked it. Track felt good. We were really pushing each other. First, second, and third place, we were all within inches. We bumped each other the whole race. It was a good time. Thought about making some moves, but didn't have enough room to pull them off, so I just stayed behind. Played it respectful, but it was a great race. Brendan and Micah, they were right on us. We had a 4th guy behind us for a little bit, and he just started slipping, trying to push it too hard. Second race, I got a good jump off the flag and got in the second real quick. Absolutely hated the way the cart handled, but it had speed in the straightaways and just kept a defensive line and barely stayed ahead of Micah, and that was tough.
Yeah, that
was real tough. Yeah, good racing this week.
Yeah, very good.
Always a fan when they split the class. I got a little bit better chance of making it to the top.
Adam Ward, I see a first place in your future here very soon.
I hope so. I got to catch back up on points.
Yeah. All right, we're standing by here with Scott McClendon Jr. Won the first race. Finally, that first win here in the iDrive series. But you got a 4th in the second race. Does it balance out? Does it make it equal? Talk us through the night.
Well, first race, 10 was unbelievably fast. It gripped great. The straightaway speed was fantastic. And the brakes, I love the firm brakes, and that just fit my driving style perfectly. But I came in tonight pretty much wanting a win. It was there, and I wanted it. So pretty much qualifying, I kind of hanged back. I knew people were battling out, and was trying to gain a little bit of a gap to get better runoff. But they put me in the pole position, and I took advantage and just blew away the field first race. Second race, it was it was a fun race. Definitely loved battling. But Bobby Krug, coming down the backstretch, kind of spooked me. I was guarding the inside, but midway going toward the turn, I kind of moved up a bit just because I thought he'd fall in line, but then I looked to my left and it's like, oh, well, hello. And the break in 3 was a little bit more rear-ended, so it didn't break as hard as 10 did, and I couldn't really stop the momentum, so I kind of drifted and pretty much tapped the wall with my rear end. So tried to gain time on 3rd place, and while he was laxating and putting his feet up for the last 4 laps, I was gaining time, but oh well, what do you gotta do? It was racing, and it was a fun race, and loved and enjoy, as always, every race that I'm here. So it's definitely fun. First win of the season.
How's that first win feel? One word to describe it. What would that one word be?
Earned.
Earned.
Very much earned, because I worked my butt off this week. I legit weightlifted my jack stand in my house. I kept doing pull-ups, doing push-ups, running through the park, building up my endurance, and pretty much just making sure that my body can handle the G's of the cart, and make sure that if anyone pushes me around, I can take that, and if they do that, I can push them around. So yeah, just been preparing and pretty much making myself ready for this year and what is to come. Hopefully Skip Barber.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Good night for Scott McLennan Jr. First win. Hopefully many more to come. We're standing by here with Brendan Lauer. Once again, 2 wins tonight, 3rd sweep in the row, 7th victory. Tell us how you did it with the split light class.
I think that was the biggest reason I was able to do it. Usually my biggest competition is you, Mr. Camera Guy. And so be proud of yourself. And when they split us up, I was kind of upset because I thought, oh man, he's going to really be able to take advantage of the things in the point standings, but that's not how it turned out. And I also kind of hate it like that since I'm the only one getting luck here and no one else is getting the luck. But I guess I'll take it however I can get it. Micah was awesome in the first race. He made up the weight differential so good. I just remember in the bathroom. Anyway, he's about 30 pounds heavier than I am and was on my ass every single lap. It's not often I get that kind of challenge. Of course, you have another one that does that.
Podium pictures.
Oh, we're doing podium pictures? Alright, follow us out for the podium pictures. So, first race, hard. Second race, easy. Because I had number 10, and number 10's really good. And that's all I've got to say about Vietnam.
James standing right here.
And that's all I got to say about anything. So you can just put that away.